Hello and welcome back to another session of Grammar Forward. I'm Sonia. In today's video, we will take up another advanced tense in the English language, namely the future perfect tense. This tense is not that commonly used, but when you use this tense, it's clear that you have reached an advanced level of English grammar. So without wasting time, let's get into the video and learn in detail about the future perfect tense. The future perfect tense is used to talk about actions that will be completed before some other point in the future. To explain this concept better, let me use a timeline. So now we are in 2021 at present time, and imagine I have joined a university now. And now I say, by the time it's 2023, I will have finished my studies and I will have graduated. So that means by 2023, my graduation will have become a thing of the past. So we can say that the future perfect tense is used to talk about past in the future. Based on the example we had on a timeline, I have written this sentence on the board for you. By 2023, I will have graduated. So here you can see that I've used a time expression and the verb tense is here. I will have graduated. She will have baked the cake before you arrive. So here again you have a time expression and here is the verb tense we study about today. Will have baked the cake. Although it's an advanced tense, its formation is quite simple. So whether the subject is singular or plural, its form will be will plus have plus the past participle of the verb, that is the V3 form of the verb. That means here we are using two auxiliary verbs, will and have, and both of them are invariables. They don't change according to the subject. And we have the main verb which is used in the past participle form. Now let's try forming the affirmative sentences or the positive sentences, the negative sentences and the questions using the future perfect tense. Let's start with the positive case first. And we have a time expression here and that is applicable for all of these sentences. So here we have, by 10 p.m. tonight, I will have got home. I will have got home. So you can see that I've used will plus have plus the verb 3 of get. The next one, she will have finished this book by 10 p.m. tonight. So here she is singular, but still I have will plus have plus the V3 of the verb finish. So though she is singular, I didn't use has here. It's still have that is used with a singular pronoun. The next one is negative. In order to form the negative sentences, you just have to insert the word not in between the two auxiliary verbs will and have. So here you have, they will not have arrived by 10 p.m. tonight. Another one, we will not have slept. And in order to make the questions, you know that you just have to change the order of the words. So in this example, you have the positive sentence, I will have got home. So what I do is I just exchange these two words. The order is changed. So I start with the first auxiliary, will, and because it's I in the answer, you have you in the question. Will you have got home? Another sentence you have here is, she will have finished this book. So again, I started with will. So will she have finished this book by 10 p.m. tonight? And in order to form the WH question, you just have to add the suitable WH word in front of the yes or no question. So here I can ask, when will you have got home? Now let's talk about the short forms of the contractions while using the future perfect tense. So with the positive form, here you have an example with the subject I will have gone has been shortened into I'll have gone. So you can see that I've put these two words together, the subject and the first auxiliary, and I've removed the first two letters from there. So you have I'll have gone. So the same rule applies to all of them. She will have taken becomes she'll have taken. They will have come has turned into they'll have come. You will have had becomes you will have had. And with a negative, you can see that I will not have gone has become I won't have gone. So there what I did is I put will and not together, and you have the short form won't being made there. But then you can hear sometimes speakers using the contracted form of these three. So you might hear people saying I've gone, but you know that it's used only while speaking. We never use it in the written form. Now let's focus on its uses. So the future perfect tense is usually used to talk about an action that will be completed before a certain point in time in the future. For example, you have two sentences. By 10 o'clock, the flight will have taken off. So I'm talking about a time in the future. Maybe it's in the near future. The flight will have taken off. Another example, by next month, she will have moved to a new house. So in these two examples, you can see that I've used a time expression by 10 o'clock or by next month, which shows that we are talking about these two actions which will take place before this set time in the future. Here is another use of the future perfect tense. This tense can be used to describe an action that will be completed before another action in the future. Let's take up some examples. She will have cooked dinner before you arrive. So this action will be completed before the second action takes place in the future. So that's why I used the future perfect tense for this action, and you have the time expression there before along with the second action which will take place after this. Another example, she will have learned Japanese before she moves to Japan. So before this action takes place in the future, this will have taken place. Now let's discuss when not to use the future perfect tense. By now, you already know that the future perfect tense is used to talk about actions that will be completed before another action or another point in time in future. That means when using this tense, the action that we are using this tense for must have a deadline. For example, she will have left by the time you arrive. So here you have a time expression, by the time you arrive, that shows that we can use the future perfect tense here. In another example, it will have stopped raining by tonight. So here again I'm using a time expression. Maybe that is in the near future, that doesn't matter. But as long as you have a deadline there, you can use the future perfect tense. But the time expression that we use, the preposition we use is very important. For example, in the sentence I say, by 8 o'clock, Mariam will have left. So when I say by 8 o'clock, it means that at any time before 8 o'clock, Mariam will have left. So it's perfectly right to use this tense there. But in the last sentence you have, at 8 o'clock, Mariam will leave. So here it just means that she will wait till it is 8 to leave. So here we don't have any kind of deadline because we use the preposition at and it doesn't point to any deadline. So we cannot use future perfect tense here. Instead, we have used here future simple tense. Let's look at some time expressions we can use with the future perfect tense. We can use by. So it can be by next year or by tomorrow or by 2025. Then by the time, we can use before or until or till. By then is possible. We can even say by the end of next month or next week. As always, before winding up, let's have an error correction exercise and let's look at some of the most common mistakes made while using the future perfect tense. And let's try to fix them all. The first sentence, The film will already has started by the time we get to the cinema. You know that the form itself is wrong here because the formula for the future perfect tense is will plus have plus the third form of the verb. So it should be will already have, not has. So here we have the correction. It is have, which should be used. Here is sentence number 2. I will have be with my family on Christmas. Here again, you can see that I have used will plus have, but it should be the third form of the verb be. So it has to be been with my family on Christmas. And the third one is a question. When she will have moved to her new house? Something is wrong with the order of the words here in this question, right? When she will have moved. It should be when will she have moved. So the first auxiliary should come before the subject. So it should be when will she have moved to her new house. Moving on to the fourth question. The flight will have took off by 10 o'clock. So the future perfect tense is used will, have, and it should be the verb 3. So here it is take off, which is the verb, the main verb, and the third form is taken off, not took off. So we need to know the past participle forms of the irregular verbs too. So it should be taken off, which is used here. And here is the answer. Here is the last question, and this time it's a yes or no question. You will have graduated by then? I intend to ask a question, but is the word order right? You know that here again we should start with the first auxiliary will. So this should come here. It should be will you have graduated by then? Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you benefited from watching this video on the future perfect tense. If you found it interesting, please do like my video, and if you are new with me, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So meet you in the next session. Goodbye until then. Take care and stay safe.